Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dungeon Dive. Daniel here, and today we're going to be taking a little look, kind of an unboxing at Dawnshade, The Watcher's Prophecy. This is a game that was just delivered today from Kickstarter. Now, one thing, I screwed up a video already that was a fresh unboxing where I actually unwrapped everything on camera, but the audio was completely jacked up. And so then I tried to kind of rescue it by doing a narration over the video that I had already recorded, a post commentary unboxing, but that was just really lame. It didn't work out at all. So this is not a fresh unboxing. I've already seen the stuff inside, so you're just gonna have to forgive that. There will be plenty of fresh unboxings coming up. I know people like that. I know people like to see the unwrapping, but that got kind of messed up. So this is Dawnshade. This is a pretty big box that is almost the same size as the Role Player Adventure box, a little bit shorter. I don't know a ton about this game. The reason we'll talk a little bit about the reason why I backed it as we read through the back of the box here. So this says it's an endless adventure awaits. You are a Petarican, a small, some would say insignificant race of creatures who dwell deep within the Galeswood forest, away from the rest of the world and all its goings on. You have been called by the High Eldress of your village to form a kinship tasked with protecting Kimber, a flaxen-tailed Petarican who you've known since you were younglings. Together, you must restore balance to a land shattering under the forces of two warring factions, the Unity and the Might. You're stuck in the middle with little more than your hope, your wits, and some misplaced courage. May the Watcher guide you. So this is it is an open world cooperative adventure RPG, and the reason why I was initially interested in this game is the open world nature. So this says deep character customization allows you to experiment with different builds and find your favorite. Intense action combat that keeps you on your toes and forces you to adapt to changing conditions. Here's the key thing here. Endless path quest system ensures each game is a unique adventure. And then that coupled with this, a 200 plus page choose your own adventure style narrative presented in a way that no two adventures are alike, even when encountering quest locations you've already encountered. So it sounds like it kind of has like a radiant quest system where things are constantly kind of evolving and changing. I am hoping that it's not just kind of like Madara or Chronicles of Juganor, where you just read through a storybook from point A to point B, coupled with a board game. I'm hoping that it does offer that kind of endless adventure or a real open world or that kind of endless path quest system. Very curious, very excited to see how that works. The one thing I'm not super thrilled about in the game is that it has chips, premium chips. It has those big kind of fat weighted kind of poker chip style things in games like Too Many Bones. I just really don't care about those. It makes the game very heavy. This box is 16 pounds and it's not packed full of stuff. It's those weighted chips that add a lot of weight to the game. I would be perfectly happy with even paying the same amount if I could have just opted in to have cardboard chips, to tell you the truth. All right, so now let's take a look at what is in the box. It is quite heavy. So I opted for the square box. As you're going to see, there are quite a few things in this game that are hexagonal shaped, and there was like a special edition of the box that was a hexagonally shaped box, but I didn't really want that. So you have a bag, and this bag is for some of your dice and tokens. The game does have some really nice custom dice we'll take a look at. Now, one thing straight out of the gate is I do love the size of the books. So I'm going to grab a kind of a normal size, trade size hardback book here just to show you the size. The rule book is even smaller than like a comic book size. Really nice. That should make it very, very easy to read. And the rule book is about 36 pages, and it looks like it's nicely laid out. It has some good art there. Let's read a little bit of flavor text here. The prophecy will be fulfilled. How is up to you. Little did you know when you woke to the light of Dawnshade's dual suns that today of all days was the end of carefree days, climbing through the canopy of the Galeswood forest, looking for the perfect place to nap. That sounds like the life. The end of village songs around the warm glow of the bonfire, the end of fresh dunker buns, crisped to perfection and eaten straight from the oven. As soon as you heard the blare of the gale's horn sweeping through the village and saw your fellow Petarican scurrying to the Watcher's Temple at the center of town in response, something inside you knew things would never be the same. So designer here, we have Ty Vance and Jet Riker, illustrators Dennis Doherty and Milla Hancock, art director Michael Hancock, writers Ty Vance, Jet Riker and Adam Keel, and community manager Mikhail Despain. So I do really like the colors. It's a very inviting game. It does kind of remind me of like an old JRPG from kind of maybe back in the day, maybe like the PlayStation era or something like that. One thing about the game is it does have a lot. It does have a lot of setup rules. So here's the setup page there. Then here are all of the kind of a setup instructions. So yeah, lots of things to set up in the game. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. I don't think it will because everything in the box looks pretty well organized. But the rulebook doesn't look too bad to get through. So I'm going to give that a read tonight, and hopefully I'll get this set up and at least started to check out over the week as I take maybe a few hours away from Elden Ring. It was starting to stress me out a little bit last night, so I think, okay, I need to take a break from Elden Ring. I'm cussing too much. So here's the log book. This is the book of random encounters and quests and that kind of thing. My one complaint about it is the covers are really thin. Like they're just kind of like normal magazine covers, and coupled with this metal spiral, I have a feeling that these pages might get torn pretty easily. So I might do some stick-on lamination on the covers. But the Dawnshade logbook, quick reference. We have different hexes. So it's kind of like an overland hex crawl when you're playing the game. Looks like you have some different quests, different difficulty levels, trilogy mode, quest tile, so different kinds of events. Here we have our main characters here. The heroes sorry about that. Ash Windstrider, Flash Skyfire, Totem Cloudbane, and Wisp Emberheart. Some different outposts, a guild hall, a tavern, a mercantile, a foundry, a boom shot gallery. Here we have our factions, the Unity, the Law, Obedience, and Deliverance with the different players in that faction there. And then we have the Might, Strength Above All, and the various players there. Different chapters that you're going to be reading through. So chapter one, there's not like a ton of reading. It's not definitely not Madara levels of time spent reading to time spent playing, hopefully. And then we have different events. So these are going to be the events that you are going to encounter when you land on different hexes. So it looks like there are quite a few. Hopefully it keeps things interesting. And then we get to the weird kind of hexagonal boards. So these are your player mats. I don't know, but I am hoping that you can play with only one or two characters because the boards are quite big. I have a small fear right now that possibly this game is going to be difficult to have set up on my small table. So we're going to have to see how that turns out. But here we have Ash Windstrider's board, and these do pop out like that. And then you will keep track of some certain things with some little cogs that go in here. So you can keep track of your attack power, how many items you have, your HP there, your defense, your dev. I'm not sure what that stands for. Agility, maybe. And then you can also place, you'll keep little plastic cubes to keep track of other things. So these are really nice. They are very thick cardboard. All in all, the component quality in this game is pretty outstanding. So there's our character, Wisp, Emberheart. The back of these is just black there. Tolem, Cloud, Bane, and Flash, Sky, Fire. So here we have our main game boards. This is going to be your Overland Quest map, black on one side. You're going to lay out these hex tiles, so you might just have like a randomized map as you play. That's kind of cool. Then we have these different battle boards. So we have like a different way to keep track of round, of initiative. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. A boom shot gallery. This looks, if I were to make a guess, that it might be some kind of little dexterity game, which would be really cool. We have our main game board here. So there are going to be different things that you're going to keep track of on this board as you are playing the game. And it does have different spots for some wooden cube or some plastic cubes there, and different levels, different threats, XP. I'm not quite sure. Maybe these are some kind of mystical elements or something that you're going to have to balance or something. Maybe they will fuel some of your power. We have our checkpoint battle map, so different rounds and initiative. And on the back here, this has a summoner's circle battle. So not quite sure how to use all of those. And then here we have our punch sheets. And there aren't a ton of different ones, so it's pretty nice. We have these here to keep track of something. It looks like some kind of elemental powers. And then we have a lot of money. So the money in this game is called Tawny. So we have different values there. We have a whole bunch of money there for those. And then we have our main sheet with different ones here. Focused, agile, precise, some different status effects, more money, and a few more different things. So you're not going to have to organize a ton of different chits, which is pretty nice. So the main box is actually really cool. Here is the dice. So the dice are really nice. They're chunky. You can just tell by the way they sound. They're heavy. They have nice faces. Printed on. They're not stickers. So really nice here. We have a whole bunch of different dice there, and then another set up here. We have this deck of cards here, which you get some player references for, one of each color for one of the main characters, one of each of the main characters. Then here we have our tier 3 loot. So the loot looks like a lot of potions and a lot of kind of magic items. It doesn't look like a lot of gear, a lot of swords and weapons and stuff. So I don't think this is a game about collecting a lot of loot. We do have different skills, so a whole deck of different skills, and it looks like there are different tiers of skills, and each card does have unique art on it, so that's nice. The cards look nice, they feel nice. Like I said, just the component quality so far seems impeccable. Here we have a few specialty items. We have our tier 2 items and then tier 1 items there. So tier 2 items. It looks like it's some vambraces there, some different kinds of gauntlets or something. And again, more potions. So lots of potions. Looks like some amulets, some binoculars, some different boots. Just no weapons. Not a lot of weapons. So I don't think your guys are kind of maybe they're not really warriors. I'm not sure. We will have to find out when we play. So we have our specialty items there. And then we have all of our tier 1 items here. Again, nice colors, well made. And then we have a deck of mini cards here, which we have our different target cards and some glory cards. The glory cards look like they might be some kind of way to keep track of achievements or possibly experience in some way. And the target cards looks like they are ways to deal with combat, maybe initiative or something like that. There's a small deck for each character. And then something I haven't seen in a long time are some little tiddlywinks. Not quite sure what these are going to be used for, but that's kind of cool. And then you have a small bag of plastic cubes, which you will keep track of with different character sheets. So these trays, though, are really nice. They're like really kind of like this like hard kind of like foam, and they come out really easily. So keeping everything nice and organized, I don't think should be really difficult at all. And then we get to our big heavy chips. So these are like the kind of probably the same style of weighted poker chips that you would get in something like Too Many Bones. Is that the name of Too Many Bones, I think? And then here we have some different types of enemies here. So a cog beast, a cog behemoth left arm, left leg, left arm. Oh, that's kind of cool. So you have to fight like different sides of him, or different body parts there. A cog bot, and then you can have like their little stats on the back. So you do get quite a few. So there's a huge stack here of different enemies. There are a huge stack here of different enemies, different types. These are from like the different factions, I believe. The two kind of like warring factions that you're going to have to deal with. Tegus, Razorbacks, more Razorbacks, Razorback with different art there. So the art's really nice on these. It kind of almost has like a foil look, like a foil trading card. And then this pack I didn't open. And then this stack here is for your heroes, and each hero has their own little stack of color coordinated tokens that you can use to keep track of, probably keeping track of different abilities. And then a stack of white encounter chits there, or tokens. And then these are your little cogs that you will be using to keep track of your dials and your player boards there. So you're going to put those in and then keep track of like where it is. So again, really nicely made. Probably very overproduced, like a lot of Kickstarter games. But like I said, these just pull out really nicely, and there's a bunch of empty places for you to put all of your chits from your punch boards. So I don't think you're going to really have to deal with like much extra storage in this game, which is really, really nice. Then we have our unweighted poker chips, and these will probably be used just for keeping track of like hit points and stuff. You'll probably stack these under the weighted ones. And then finally at the bottom here, we have our quest cards. So these, let me grab that map board again. So we have our main map here. And then these probably, I would guess, get randomly shuffled and then laid out, and you explore these hexes, and then you turn those over, and these will be your different events that will correspond to certain things in the book. So like event 2, perhaps a battle, event 16, event 21. So it looks like there's a neat way of how the randomly generated hex map will coincide to the different events in the book. So maybe you just kind of never know what kind of quest you are going to what kind of events that you will come across, and you are playing on this small map. I like that. I hope that there is enough variety within each individual event that they don't start to get boring too quickly. Then you also have, there's a few of these cataclysm events that can happen. Do not enter. Each player suffers -1 defense stat. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm excited. I'm cautiously optimistic. I like this tile system. I like how the events and the quests are associated with these tiles. I like how it looks like there's going to be a random nature to it. And then I also do really like how everything snugly fits back in this box. It just should make the game as easy as possible to set up and put away. Something that you don't have to deal with extra storage or kind of like figure out a a whole like Tetris puzzle just to get everything back in the box is kind of a it's a sigh of relief these days in the Kickstarter world. All too often these days, I feel like stressed out. I feel anxiety when a new game arrives because I think about how I'm going to store it. But you know, this is a Kickstarter game where it's one box, and I don't think there were other pledges to get more stuff. Maybe there were expansions. I didn't get it. I just did the base pledge. But the fact that everything fits in this single box that can easily go up on a shelf is really nice. It just makes me want to play. It makes me want to keep the game and enjoy the game all that more. So, all right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed taking a look at Dawnshade. I'm going to set this up and perhaps this weekend have some initial thoughts on the game. Take it easy. Bye-bye.